Howdy. Today is just a rant video while we do the Elite Debug Media. Used to do these like 5 months ago, I think was the last one I did. I just kind of stopped doing them. I don't know. I just got busy, I suppose, and didn't really find myself recording when I did this kind of stuff, right? But here we are again, because I kind of wanted to like go over some stuff, but it's hard to do that in a normal video where it's not like at least some sort of Warframe background stuff, because people don't usually watch that. And I mean, not that like they should. I mean, I usually don't either, right? But hopefully more than 12 people watch this so that they can more opinions can be gathered, I guess. I seek the opinions of many on many things just to get ideas, I suppose. I spend too much time thinking about stuff, not decisive enough. I meant to go over what we were running before we went into this. I got Kuva Dracoon, Prisma Angstrom, and Karnon with a pure heat build. It's a pure radiation build on my Kuva Dracoon, and a pure electric build on my Rumblejack. We're using Nyx, and not because she's a Warframe that matches this week. She is my option that I went with just to forego the last 50 Vosphors rewards. She's my free pick, I guess, because I felt like playing her since she's getting changed soon, just to get a feel for her, right? I mean, I've played her a decent bit already in the past, but it's been a while since I like really played her, so I figured might as well try out this general build I have for her that should hopefully be good once the changes happen, but we will have to wait and see. The missions this week, I don't think they seem too bad. It's survival's not that bad usually, depending how your teammates and your loadout is. The second mission is what's it called, the thingy thing where you throw the thing at the thing. Alchemy, that's what it's called. Yeah, alchemy. And the last one is assassination. That one's annoying. It's not hard. The assassination is actually quite possibly the easiest one you can possibly get difficulty wise for a mission in EDA. I've never even come miles within failing an assassination on EDA. It's just, they're so damn tedious because the boss is drowning in damage attenuation. It's just some raging bullshit, to say the least. But overall, not looking too difficult this week. I don't think I'll have a problem. I completely forgot to do my EDA and my Nether Cells and everything last week, so that's unfortunate. Missed out on all of those. I don't really care that I missed out on the Archon hunt, though. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done the Archon hunt in like 6 weeks. I just quit doing it. It's not worth it. Usually I rarely need blue shards. I don't need blue shards. I need yellow or reds, so that completely makes 1 week pointless. And then for like a slight chance at getting a Tau, usually it's going to be normal. Yeah, there's a pity after 5 weeks to get a guaranteed Tau forged, but the amount of time I have to put in for one measly shard is just not worth it when I could spend that time doing something else, be it in this game or another, or even just not a game in general. Like, there's much better ways to spend my time than wasting it on an Archon hunt nowadays. The only reason I would ever do is if I'm playing it with my friends, or like I'm streaming or something, and I don't really stream often. That's a lot of stuff out of the way, though. So anyways, I mean, I guess that in itself is a rant. But the other ranting stuff, I have an issue. I have a big issue when it comes to making content, and I'm not really sure how to fix it. So I obviously mostly make Warframe content, right? Like that's the main thing I do. I would like to be able to branch off and start other stuff. It's really hard to make that happen, especially when like the time I spend doing that is time that I could possibly be making something Warframe related instead, which has a significantly higher chance of actually getting me paid, because I do need to get paid. And that's one of the main reasons I'm having a problem right now, is I am getting paid, right? enough to, it makes a big difference. Okay, like I am beyond grateful for all of you people watching me. I'm so grateful. I've been getting paid like around a little over $200 every month, right, since I got monetized usually. And that, it may not sound like a lot, right? $200 a month, that in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money, but it makes a humongous difference in like the just general livelihood for my family. That is the difference between having food 2 of the 4 weeks in a month and not having food. So I'm very grateful for that. That being said, I still would like to be able to get more money because I still am like, even with that, it's just barely enough to pay for bills and stuff. But also beginning in January, originally it was going to be sooner, but now it's like at the start of 2025, I have to pay off a fairly decent sized debt I am in because of I got a loan. I'm not going to go in like super details, but the gist of it is I have a PC now, right? Been over that, and I got it via a loan. Okay, not like a loan from a bank, right? It's the kind, it's like a person related kind of thing, but it's something that I still am going to need to pay off. It's not like, I mean, if I don't pay it, I'm not freaking going to prison, but it's still very important that I do so, especially for the sake of like, you know, my own dignity. And I need to be able to make enough money to start doing that, right? So the base amount, right, how much I need to be able to start paying every month for it is going to be $100, right, starting January. And that's, I just can't afford to take that out of what I'm already currently getting. It wouldn't be as bad if this was the summer, because while I feel like I'm not sure if I like talk about this too much or if I don't talk about this enough. I don't really ever talk about the specific details, I guess, of like my life in general, or the reason I don't have a normal job, but I feel like, or at least in the past month or so, I bring it up fairly often. I don't mean to. I really don't like to, because I feel like when I bring up that I'm, you know, broke as fuck and unemployed, it makes it sound, I know not everyone's gonna think this, right? And honestly, from the general consensus that I get from people is that the majority of people don't think this, but to myself it sounds like I'm trying to, you know, what's the word, shit, what is it, I don't know, try to get pity from people, right? And that is very much not the case. The only reason I ever bring it up is because it is very important for context, for like as to why I do it most things. Because while like generally playing games, or like if I make a build on something, it's driven by interest or entertainment, right? That's why I do those things specifically. But in as a whole, why I'm making content in general is entirely profit driven, right? Because I need to be able to do that. And the reason for that is that I can't work a normal job because I'm quite sick and disabled. You boys got like, just go Google up chronic illnesses, right? I've got like half of them. So it makes things a little bit rough. Even despite that though, right? Like during the summer, I am able to occasionally like work for relatives or something. They'll pay me to do stuff, right? Like I go dig a trench, say, or this past, not like in the past month, I guess, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, I can't remember the time now, but over the summer, right, I like mixed concrete and stuff manually. I dug trenches and I mixed concrete and I poured concrete and that sort of thing for one of my sets of grandparents, and that helps a lot to be able to do that because they pay me to do that. And more, or not more importantly necessarily, but also importantly, or I had to cut that out, someone was talking. Yes, where was I? Oh yeah, it's not more important. I don't know why I went with that turn of phrase, but because it's a relative, right? It's the kind of thing that I can do when I'm able to do it. Like if I wake up and I'm sick as a dog, which is about, I want to say 85% of the time, honestly, I can just be like, yo, I'm sick, I'm dying, can't do it. Whereas if I had a normal job, that wouldn't be the case. And if I'm doing it for relative, if I like feel like I'm about to pass out or something, I can live whenever I want. I can go stop, go inside, take a break whenever the hell I want, right? So, and I'm also not working for 8 hours a day when I do that. It's usually like maybe 2 days a week, and however long we end up doing it that day. So that kind of thing helps a lot, right? If it was the summer, then I would be able to do that. But because it's the winter, I can't do that, because you can't really do a lot of that kind of thing that any of my grandparents would be doing in the winter. And even if you could, one of the health things I have makes it so I can't really be outside in the cold for very long, or like at all. If it's below 50 degrees, I can't really be outside for even like 10 minutes. It really fucks me over royally. So can't really do that in the winter, which is why it's now becoming a bigger issue. It won't be as big of an issue once we get back into like the spring, probably like April or something, because freaking weather's weird. I've had it snow in April. Okay, things are weird in my little corner of the world. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of why it's getting a little more tense than it has been previously, money-wise, for that, as far as if I'm going to be able to get it to start paying off the debt I owe. Okay, so we need to be able to get more moolah, generally speaking. That was a very long tangent to get to that one small point across, but oh well, context. I feel like having context will help. Like, even if it's not always important, it'll just give a better idea as to like where I'm at and why I do things, why I do stuff certain ways. So it's hard to try to branch into this stuff. I have very limited, despite being unemployed, you'd be surprised how little free time I have. I'm a very busy person. So it's really hard to like try to get around to doing stuff like that for other games when there's a high likelihood that it's either not going to pay out at all, or it won't for a fair bit of time. And that's why I've been asking in so many community polls and shit about like if I should start a second channel or just try to do stuff on my main channel if it's like a different kind of game and stuff. And one of my worries is like, you never know when you're going to get that one video that kind of just like really blows up, because there are people that get videos that blow up. But a lot of the time that kind of thing happens, but they don't gain subscribers. Like I've seen people with 1 million views on a video and they've got like 1,000 subs. Okay, not that like makes it bad or anything, but the reason that's important is like, let's say I were to start a second channel, whatever, be it's video essays, other games, anything, whatever it is. Let's say I do that and I start putting in the effort to make higher quality videos, and it does really well, but I'm not monetized yet, right? Like, let's say that one time I get the one time I have a video actually do really well, or like really well. I mean, not that like my videos do horrible necessarily, but you get the point, right? Then I won't get paid for it, and dear God, that would suck. Imagine having like a one channel that's monetized. If I were to do another one and then have a video that got like 500,000 views, all right, that would suck so much ass, knowing I could have been paid for that. That would be unbelievably painful, especially when oftentimes that kind of thing can happen without the person getting any substantial growth from it. There are plenty of channels with very, very small amounts of subscribers, but multiple even videos that have large amount of views, because a lot of the time, especially depending on the content, people just don't subscribe like that. So that's a concern that I have. And I also, it's not just about wanting to branch off and do other stuff. It's also about that A, being what I want to do, and B, being, if it worked out, it would be a smarter thing to do, right? Because Warframe only gets so many views, right? Like, it's definitely not a dead game. And I'd say it's been getting a lot more traction lately because of, like, mostly the hate that's been going towards Destiny, because the game's dog shit. A lot of, like, Destiny people have been, giving Warframe a look, especially with the Warframe 1999 being about to come out. Fuck, I went down. So it's not anywhere close, I'd say, to being a dead game. But even like the bigger videos from bigger content creators really don't get that many views. And that is unfortunate because it means you're less, like the potential for growth or profit is lower than it could be in a different sort of field of kind of stuff to make. And also, I would like to do other stuff because while I do enjoy Warframe, my enjoyment for the game is very like dependent on my mood, right? Like I get burnt out on Warframe really easily. I'll get like super into the game and I'll get super burnt out from the game, and that's just constantly off and on, and I find it really hard to like get inspired to make a video or a build when I'm burnt out on it. And I'm kind of in that phase right now with Warframe. Hopefully that changes with Warframe 1999 coming out, all the new stuff, but we'll see. Another problem though is that I just don't have the resources to continue making Warframe content because I'm lacking a lot of stuff, be it resources in game or time in general in real life. Now, one of the reasons I've been able to make so many videos up to this point, I think I'm at like almost 400 videos now, is because I've been playing Warframe for years. So I already had plenty of weapons like formed and leveled up. I already had like some level of knowledge about stuff and stuff built. But I kind of gone through everything, like every secondary except I think 2 that I've made a video on. And I believe I've made a video on all the primary weapons I have, but like maybe 1 or 2. And I think I've made a video on every melee weapon that I have. It's rough, and I literally do not have the time to farm the crap out of this game like when I was younger, like other people can do, to try to farm relics and sell them for plats. Okay, I don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to try to farm out stuff for Forma. So I'm always out of Forma. I'm always out of adapters. I'm always out of potatoes, right? Green or blue potatoes or yellow potatoes. If you don't know what potato is, the potato, the Orkin reactors, or the variant, the blue ones for weapons. I can't remember. Orkin catalyst? Yeah, Orkin catalyst, Orkin reactors. Those are potatoes. I've got none of those. And then I also gonna have to take out the time to like level stuff up, and I don't want to like just have a low effort, zero brain kind of setup, right? So not only am I going to have to get all of the resources to make that happen, but then I'm gonna have to go and level up the crap out of it, which takes a decent bit of time. And then I'm gonna have to start testing a bunch of stuff on, reading all sorts of stuff on the wiki, watching other people's videos and stuff, just to gather as much information about it as I can, and then make a build on it. That's a lot of freaking work, especially when how videos do, like, if my videos do really good, for me, really good is like 6,000 views, and that gives me, I think, what, maybe like $25, probably about 20. And to put in that much time, like, let's say the amount of time it takes me to do all of that stuff is 10 hours. Okay, if I put in 10 hours, and oftentimes it'll end up being more than 10 hours, so we're rounding down even. So if I put in 10 hours and it comes back out at best, okay, like assuming it does well, because a lot of the time some of my videos will come down, like that Varuna Max investment video, I spent a long ass time trying to like find a build in Varuna and testing stuff. Okay, that got like what, 1.3k views. So to spend 10 hours in, if I pray to RNGesus and the algorithm loves me, I'll get $20, but on average I'm likely more to get 8 or something like that. It's kind of rough, kind of rough. So I don't have the resources to keep like building stuff. I don't have the time to farm the resources. I barely would be able to make enough time to like do build the stuff. On top of, I'm also trying to learn editing so that I can make higher content quality, because I'm really bad at editing. I'm a really slow learner with that kind of stuff. I'm not like tech savvy, and I'm not a great learner either. The best way I can describe myself with learning is I'm like a computer, okay? if you show me exactly how to do something, I'm going to be able to do it just fine, right? But I mean down to every last detail in every scenario that could possibly happen. Because if you do programming, all right, I originally, when I was younger, I wanted to be a video game programmer, okay? So I took programming courses for like different programming languages when I was in high school in my senior year. And so if you've done any level of programming, you know that if you don't tell the computer exactly what it needs to do in every scenario, right, it's gonna fuck something up and it's just gonna stop working. That's basically how I am, right? If I'm not told exactly what I'm supposed to do and how to do it, I usually end up fucking it up or just like freezing and not knowing what to do. And that tends to be a real big issue. So it makes it really hard to learn stuff. I'm trying to learn editing with the free version of DaVinci Resolve, and it's so damn confusing. So confusing. So I'm spending a very long time trying to learn it, on top of having to make videos, on top of having to figure out how I'm going to go about with different content, on top of running out of resources, on top of needing to make builds and just general life stuff. We're in a real rough spot. Something that I feel like I could maybe do, or not, this theoretically, okay, something I feel like I could theoretically do is streaming. Maybe I don't think I have like the greatest streaming personality of all time, but I kind of feel like with my group of friends it could be fairly entertaining. And especially when I was smaller, right, when I was around 500 subs, I think the best stream I ever did, I had 20 viewers. For someone that was that small at the time, that's actually pretty damn good. Like really 20 viewers is a lot for someone that small, right? So I see bigger people with less viewers. Like there are people on I'm not gonna like say specifically who it is, but there's like this VTuber, okay, I watch on YouTube. They stream and they have almost 7,000 subscribers, and they usually average between 3 to 4 views or viewers, and that's obviously not amazing, right? So all things considered, I'd say I can at least manage to not be the least entertaining possible when it comes to streaming. So I think streaming would be something I could potentially make happen and make money off of to a reasonable degree. But there are so many problems with that. So many problems. The first one would be I am not good at talking for long periods of time. I have always been a raging shut-in. Not nearly as much the past few years, right? I like nowadays I'm a family man, family kind of guy, right? I go to all like family gatherings. I'm always there for my family. But in previous years, right, like I want to say 18 to 20, 17, 20, something like that, I was like raging. I mean, I would leave the house once every 3 months, and that would only be for a doctor's appointment. So even though I do still leave the house more often, I still don't do it very much, and I'm usually not talking at all, like in my room a lot of the time, which means I don't have a lot of experience talking for extensive periods of time. And because of that, my throat's not used to it, so my throat gets so raspy and sore very easily when I talk for a long period of time. So to do that like on the regular, it would take some getting used to. I also don't have the time to do that. Like I can't just freaking stream 5 hours a day. I can't manage that. That'd be pretty rough. I mean, I suppose if I think if I really worked around my schedule and didn't oversleep, and if I like streamed every time I played any sort of game in general, right, then maybe it would be doable. But then it definitely wouldn't be like a specific game, which might be a problem. And also that still doesn't fix a lot of the other issues I have, which would be if it's nighttime, can't be too loud, right? Can't wake people up. If it's daytime, then there's a lot of like talking and possibly background sound or people in the way and that sort of thing. And either way, because of those two things, I'm going to have my door shut. I have a very small room. I also have the room with the biggest amount, or the most amount of vents, heat ducts in it. We do not have, what is, I don't remember, like centralized heating or something? I don't remember what it's called, but the heating where like you can control the heat in different rooms. I also, due to, I guess, genetics from my dad, because he's the same way, I emit an ungodly amount of body heat. I mean, like, you could cook food on me. It's insane how much body heat I emit. And so when I have my door shut, it gets real hot in here, okay? Like, it will be 70 degrees in the living room and 90 plus degrees in my bedroom. When I have the door shut, it gets hot. I sweat profusely. Right now, as we speak, I have the door shut. I've had the door shut for like 40 minutes now, okay? I can barely breathe and I'm drenched in sweat right now. It's pretty rough. And that is not exactly optimal. It's really annoying and hard to play games when you're constantly drenched in sweat. Very uncomfortable, very distracting. So that's kind of a massive issue right there. Also, if I were to do that, I would not want to do it on YouTube. Because of wanting to like have all the information and stuff, I do always want to research stuff before I like come to a conclusion on it. So I did a lot of research about like streaming and if it is worth it doing on YouTube, and based off of like different analytics I have of myself, other people, and just general information, it's not a good idea to stream on YouTube, or at least not for the kind of streaming or like content I would ever possibly make. Honestly, the only real chance you have at streaming on YouTube, for most people, is if you're a VTuber, especially, like, more specifically, a VTuber that's either originally from Twitch or you're a VTuber that's part of a corporation. The much better option is Twitch. Despite how shitty Twitch is, Twitch really, really fucking sucks. I hate Twitch. But you know what Twitch does? It pays, and YouTube doesn't. Even if I got 100 viewers every day and I stream like 5 hours a day, I would barely get paid jack shit, okay? It's rough, the amount of money YouTube pays for streaming. It's borderline worthless, the little tiny amount they give you. For like a general comparison, I'd say if I were to like get to a similar size or have a similar level of activity or engagement with an audience on Twitch as I did on YouTube, they would pay me probably around 8 to 12 times the amount of money. That's a big difference. It's a really, really big difference. And it makes sense, I guess, realistically, or not realistically, but like thinking about it, it makes sense, because like Twitch is targeted at streaming. It was made for streaming, whereas YouTube streaming was like an afterthought they shittily slapped on after everything else. So it makes sense that it's that way, but it still sucks, because like I've built my audience on YouTube. That's where everybody is, and that's where I'm already monetized, and Twitch is doo-doo water. So just kind of rough, but I'm not sure. Just lots and lots of ranty stuff. Other than other game content, something I am working on though is I'm making a video about HP inflation, not in Warframe specifically though, okay? I briefly mentioned Warframe in the video, or at least like in the script, I guess. So far I don't even have the video part started making, it just the script. But it's not like about Warframe specifically. It's about HP inflation in as a whole, just in general in gaming. Okay, as a whole. I guess if it were to be more precisely like in a specific area, like live service games, because that's where HP inflation is the thing, right? There is an HP inflation in single player, one and done kind of games, right? So HP inflation as a whole in gaming with live service games, because it's a topic that I find really, really interesting and to be extremely misunderstood with people. A lot of people are very wrong with their ideas about HP inflation in general. And so I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do that. And especially because HP inflation is a pretty big topic in a lot of the games I play. I play a lot of gacha games because I'm a raging weeaboo, and it's a pretty big topic. It's always been a decently sized topic, but it's a much bigger topic as of late in like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact. It's a very, very big quotation marks issue right now in those games, and it's also always been a very prevalent topic in Destiny. I don't play Destiny anymore. I quit it about half a year ago, thank God, but I do still keep up with Destiny stuff just because like I'm so used to watching Destiny videos that it's like my comfort food, right? Like the game's dog shit, I don't even play anymore, haven't played it in ages, but I still watch like Aztecross. Okay, I mean, it's Aztecross, another week, boys, and another swap. I'm sorry, it's so nostalgic. I can't not watch Aztecross, so I keep up with that kind of thing, right? And there was a recent video of not just about like HP inflation, but like more specifically about modifiers and difficulty in general that YouTuber Dado did about Destiny 2, and that really sparked my interest in it about HP inflation and difficulty in general, because difficulty, HP inflation, and live service, those things are tied together like inseparably. What's the word? They're tied together, something. There's a word for that. I can't remember what it is. First person to say the right word, if you can read like my mind, even though I don't know it, I'll pin you in the comments. But anyways, it really, really interested me. So I wrote a script. I finished it last night. I spent about, I want to say 5 or 6 hours writing the script. It's probably around 15,000, 20,000 words long. So I spent a decent bit of time on it, but I finished an entire long ass script for a video about HP inflation. And I actually think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good script. Like I read it back, and I think it sounds good and logical and could spark some interesting debates. Ooh, double Talforged. But now I have to make a video around it because I need to, that's kind of what I was planning to do. I need to make and to do that I'm gonna need to like learn how to edit better, way better, and actually be able to do it. So, you know, 5-6 hour script, and then I'm gonna have to spend 20 freaking hours plus probably editing it and making the video. So that's gonna be rough. Probably not even gonna be like the video I mentioned about how it being a recent bigger topic, HP inflation, except that's gonna be completely outdated more than likely, because the video is likely gonna take me like 6 months to make. I said like 5,000 times. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna probably be a long time till it comes out. Hopefully it isn't, but I procrastinate a lot, and it's really hard to get myself to learn stuff and do stuff, so we'll see. But it really interests me, and I'm really interested in that sort of thing, like video essays about topics about gaming and stuff. A great example of the kind of topic I'm interested in, this is more like not necessarily the same, but there's a YouTuber named Daryl Talks Games, and he's probably top 3 favorite YouTubers, right? I rarely ever consume videos for entertainment purposes, right? Like outside of like watching Aztecross, even though I don't play Destiny anymore, that's like my guilty food, right? Or I don't know, something guilty pleasure, right? Or just for the sake of having sound in the background when I'm playing a game or something. Okay, but like 95+% of all of the videos or content in general, be it video or non-video form that I consume, is purely for information, right? I'm all about consuming information at an ungodly rate. But I guess it would kind of fall into both categories, that kind of thing, because he does stuff about video games. More recently, he's branched off to like video essays on video games and topics in general, because his specific like niche that he was about was psychology, the exact psychology about different stuff in video games. And while he does still like doing that, he recently had like a year ago talked about how he wants to also be able to do videos where he doesn't have to spend 100 hours researching psychology and just talk about a topic without having to find all the deep psychological things about it. And that's the kind of thing that I'm really interested in. I would love to be able to do videos about that. I feel like maybe they would be able to do well as well. That would be awesome, you know, do something I like, I'm interested in, that also would possibly make good bank. That would be beyond epic. But I don't know. We'll have to see how that stuff ends up going. I'm not sure yet. That's pretty much it, though. I've ranted for like half an hour, 40 minutes now, probably. Hopefully you actually listened to all of this. I mean, I'd be surprised if anyone actually made it through this whole video. You know who probably will? Freaking Darth Eskar, bro. Absolute freaking battle buddy. Sent the image in the Discord of their like watch time on YouTube. The most watched creator is me. I was like, whoa, bro actually stands the Einzweig. I like that. But yeah, other people, surprised if you made this far. If you did, give yourself a pat on the back and like 14 Oreos with a giant glass of milk, because milk is the way. If you have any thoughts about any of the 10 billion topics I brought up, leave them in the comments. I know I have way too many videos, or not videos in recent times, but like community posts or on streams talking about it, or rant videos in the past where I talk about this kind of stuff, and I still haven't branched out and like actually started making other content. It's because I'm just so unbelievably indecisive and worried about all of the different possible things that could happen. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, you know, leave a comment saying, damn, this boy yap a lot, cray cray. That's going to do it though. Adios.